sweet. I set this one up completely wrong. Awesome. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome in here. This is in vertical, so this is going to look weird in the replay. Apologies. I set these all up last night. I really thought I had this set up correctly on everything, but apparently not. We're back with some live at lunch this week. We got A1 week here, and so we're going to do these lives at lunch Monday through Thursday. Friday, we'll put out a video if, depending upon, I haven't seen all the press day schedule stuff. I don't know. Sometimes they do it Thursday. I guess I should really look into this. I should be more prepared, right? I'm not sure if they do press stuff on Thursday or if it's all on Friday this week. I'll have to check that out and let you guys know. A couple things to plug here before we really get going as we kind of wait for some of you guys to come in. Number one, if you guys are not a member yet, it might be time to join. Especially if you join the B-Class Bench Racers there. We have our first B-Class Bench Racers, members only, Thursday live stream coming up this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern is when we will be doing it. Yeah, so that'll be fun. You know, grab your favorite beverage. We're going to do it right on YouTube for the current time being. And so I will have it set up. I'll be doing that on my laptop so I can keep an eye on the chat since I haven't figured out all the ins and outs of this members thing yet. But we will be able to talk through the chat there. Basically, you guys can ask questions about anything, and I'll answer it. You guys want to talk conspiracies, you want to talk politics, you want to talk religion, you want to talk financials, you want to talk anything, I will talk absolutely anything. I'm going to do at least 30 to 60 minutes on Thursday night there. So again, if you haven't joined the members area, I believe there's like 10 or 11 of you guys now. Thank you all who are members. If you guys are watching this either live or on the replay right now, and yeah, more of you guys should join because that's going to be a good time. I'm going to have a couple of beverages. I have a brand new rum that is bottled here in Michigan that I tried on New Year's. It's okay. I got to finish the bottle because I don't waste nothing, so we're going to drink it. And yeah, we'll go over stuff like that on, like I said, on Thursday night there, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure, like I said, if you haven't joined the B-Class Bench Racers tier there, the members area, make sure to join. Also, one other thing I want to plug here, just because this is kind of the new thing right now. As some of you might know, I'm not sure if all of you know, but as some of you might know, the TLR Coatings that we see here, where the studio is located, the powder coating shop that I own, we have a new thing. So if anybody hasn't seen these Milwaukee knives, the whatever they're called, the fastback knives here, that are coated, we are doing those. So lots of options available, like right here in front of me. We've got a blacked out one, we've got a pink one, and we've got a metallic blue one. So if you are a blue collar guy, tradesman, you just want something cool for in the trailer, in the toolbox here, that you won't lose, because let's face it, if you buy a custom colored knife like this and somebody takes it, it'll be very easy to find, because you will be able to see that they have that exact same custom colored knife, and the chance of them having the exact same one's pretty low. So you can pick those up. Right now they are, you can DM us on Instagram, or call the shop or whatever, and order those. We will have them on the TLR Coatings website soon with all sorts of different color variations. So if anybody's interested in one of those, like I said, we do sell those. We can do custom colors, all that kind of fun stuff. Just something I want to plug. I don't plug the coating shop super duper often on here, so just wanted to put that out. So a couple things to plug there. We got some of you guys in here, which is awesome. 15 of you right now. I want to thank y'all for tuning in live at lunch number 6 here. Again, we're going to do these Monday through Thursday this week. I've only got 30 minutes today, so we're going to keep this one right on time. I've got a customer coming 1:30, 2 o'clock here. But anyway, all right, let's jump into the comments here. So Slayer, what's up? As much as I'm a Degan fan, Deegs will not win the West. Triumph is putting Smith and Faulkner in the West to team up on the Deegs, and I have a feeling that they are not going to play nice. Okay, I would agree to a certain extent. I don't agree, because I do think that Deegs is going to still win West. We actually have live at lunch on Thursday is going to be like answering the question, can Forkner challenge Degan? So make sure to tune into that one if you want to hear like all the thoughts on that. Smith and Forkner will put up a challenge, but it's going to be, I don't know that it'll be enough. And like I said, we'll talk about that more, especially with the Forkner thing. Smith doesn't have the consistency to challenge Deegs for an entire season. Like, he's just, I don't know what it is. He's not there. RJ managed to pull off a Supercross title last year, but I just don't believe that Smith has that in him right now until he proves it otherwise. So let's see, Johnny O'Hanna, 450 class, Jett, Sexton, Hunter, I assume that's podium for A1. Could see it. 250 class Deeks, Kitchen, Forkner, could see that too. So nothing surprising there. I still think Deeks wins the West. Hear me out, Forkner wins the championship. We'll talk about that more on Thursday. Who do you think will get a win first, Jett or Degan? Well, we're going to jump into that in just a second here. Jett does, because he showed even with the injuries, he still wins. Gabriel Gibson, they're talking about who will win 3 SMX titles first, which is what this whole live stream is about. Throttle therapy, starting a podcast soon. Any tips? Yeah, just be dumb enough to keep going. Even everybody's going to tell you not to. Trust me, everybody will tell you not to. And start it as cheaply as possible. Literally, just take out your phone and record. Okay, that, like, don't buy expensive shit. Don't buy all the crap. Get yourself a Mac computer so that you can transfer stuff back and forth. Use your iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, you should get one, because that is the easiest way, is to have an iPhone and a MacBook or MacBook Pro, and just go from there. That's the absolute easiest way to start a podcast for anybody out there who wants to start one. We've done all sorts of things, but basically just use what you got. Like, the podcast industry is not, I don't want to say it's not difficult, because it is, because there's so many things to it. And what I mean by that is, you're going to have everyone telling you, you're going to have everyone around you laughing. You're going to have everyone who is, everybody's going to want to be on it, not want to be on it. Everybody's going to tell you it's stupid. Everybody online is going to tell you you're an idiot. It takes a lot of gusto to keep going. It's kind of like, it's basically the same thing as owning a business. You got to just keep going. And like I said, don't overdo it to get it started. We started with literally a camera I bought to do, to vlog with, and we were filming 30-minute increments for 1 hour long show, and just threw it up there, and off we went, and we just continue. And yeah, I don't make shit doing this. Go back, watch the 450 preview show at the halftime report. I talk about how much we kind of make right now doing this. I don't make anything hardly doing this, so just keep going. Eventually you'll get there. So anyway, that is where we're at on the podcast. Deegan Danger Zone, I know I need to bring those shirts back for sure. Race Castle, Deeg's not as good indoors, not a lock, he wins West. Well, agree to disagree there. Robert Radigan, Degan is consistent for Triumph. I don't know what that means. And Robert Rad, Degan and team is ready for whatever. All right, so let's get into this here. So obviously, topic of conversation this week. Something that I kind of came up with last week listening to some of the other preview shows or whatever. So we have Hayden Deegan and Jett Lawrence, right? They both have been kind of the stars here since the Super Motocross playoffs have come to be 2 years ago. They both have won both of the SMX playoff championships here. So the big question is which one gets it done first, essentially? Like, who wins the third one? Do they three-peat? And to be honest, I think both of them do. And the only way I think we get someone different out of the two of those guys winning, one is once Degan moves to 450s next year. And so I think this year, to be honest, I think Degan's going, there's a high probability, right, that Degan does all 3 titles this year. I will give him that. I think there's a high probability that he is going to be the first one to win all 3 titles. And what I mean by that is I'm going to give him a 60% chance, because I do believe in some interview somewhere that I have heard Jett mention that he would like to win all three in a year. It's one of those goals that he has that gets him out of bed, kind of like going undefeated in Supercross, which again, love it or hate it. And I know there's a lot of hate out there, and everybody kind of knows that I'm a homer for Jett. But love it or hate it, this kid is so good. He has to have goals like this to be able to get himself out of bed. If he didn't have goals like this, he'd be done. I mean, he's already won the Supercross, the Motocross, the SMX twice, 250s, 450s. He's done basically everything. I mean, he would probably go maybe do a MXGP championship, which again I think would take a year or two, and he would win that. And then he would basically be out of the sport, probably on to MotoGP or something with four wheels, one of the two. But because he has these lofty goals that everybody gives him a ton of crap for all the time, we will continue to see him in this sport, which would be 72 wins, undefeated Supercross season, winning all three championships in 1 year. I'm sure, depending upon how this goes here, there might be a time that one of Jett Lawrence's goals is to not win or not lose a race the entire year. I mean, literally not lose one. Now, the other thing that would be super interesting here that I just got from misspeaking there, in essence, is that how cool would it be if he was like, I'm going to win every one of these titles and not win a race and just literally finish second every single race all year? That would be insane. Now, do I think that could be done? I don't know, man. That would be risky to try to do it like that. But it could happen. It could happen because, I mean, none of these other guys are, at least not right now, are consistent enough to beat him every single week. So I don't know. That'd be a super interesting one. That's a blue sky idea there for that one. So, but needless to say, going back to who three-peats first, I think they both three-peat, and then I think it's kind of a dogfight next year for who's gonna have their fourth one, basically in 26, and that's going to be because Degan will move to 450s and outdoors in 2026, and then he will go race the SMX championship in the 450 class instead of the 250 class. So when he does that, and those two have to race each other, well then we'll see. We'll see what happens at that point. But I do think that both of them win this year. I think Degan stands a very, very good chance of winning all three titles this year, which would be interesting to see. And then he'll get that kind of, if Jett doesn't do it, then he's going to get that accolade of being the first guy to win all three. But we'll have to wait and see exactly how that goes. I mean, things happen. This is dirt bike racing. We've seen this. I mean, none of us expected Jett to wad himself into the ground last year and not be able to finish the outdoor season. So thanks everybody for tuning in live at lunch here, number 6. Really appreciate it. Again, we're discussing Degan and Jett and who we think can get the number 3 SMX championship here. And again, like I said, I think both. I think it's going to be a battle for number 4, to be real honest with you. So let's jump back in the comments here. Looks like we've had a couple. Eric, who do you think will win a race first in Supercross this year? Just in Supercross first. Honestly, I think they both win A1. Barring the Lawrences not being able to figure out that bike enough, which even if they can't, they went into Bercy on not a full-blown bike, full-blown HRC bike, and with a setup that was off, and very apparent it was off when they came around for media day there. I mean, if you watch Jett go through those whoops and almost go to Indonesia, you saw how far off that bike was. And yet, he still won 5 out of 6. So, there's going to have to be something major for him not to win. Degan absolutely thrives on the spotlight like this. Absolutely thrives. So, I'm like, my thought process on Degan winning this year, or I'm sorry, Degan winning A1 this year is, dude, it's high. It's 75% plus chance he wins A1. And again, we'll get a little bit more into this, but I don't think Fortner wins. I don't think Smith. I mean, Smith will be good, but he's on a new bike, so I think they're going to have some growing pains there. And what I mean by is new bike to him. So I believe there will be some growing pains there. And on top of that is a new bike, and I think they're still figuring some things out. They had a good year. They did very, very well last year, Triumph did, but I still think they're going to be figuring some things out this year, which they will be able to better because they're going to have a four-man roster of guys that are really, really good. So I think that'll be okay. Then you go into his teammates. Like Davies isn't beating him. Mosman, that'd be like that wild card, like 1%er that could beat him. Joe doesn't usually come out swinging, so I don't see Joe beating him there. And let's see here, like, okay, yeah, maybe Kitchen can challenge him, but I just think Kitchen is half a step back on speed, basically. Deegan is just far and above better than all of these guys, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's just where I'm going with that. Jumping back into the comments here, if he stays healthy, Robert Rad, if he stays healthy, absolutely all 3 titles, more than likely. Panic Rev, there's a lot of hype for someone who didn't make it through the MX season. What do you mean, Panic Rev? For someone who didn't make it through the MX, are you talking about Jett? Like, there's a lot of hype around Jett? I mean, in case you forgot, Jett went 22-0 the year before. And on top of that, he won his very first 450 Supercross race. He won his very first 450 Supercross title. He won both SMX titles. He won the SMX title coming off the couch from being hurt. I mean, I don't know. Comment again there, Panic Rev, what you mean by for someone who did make it through the MX season. Because Degan won the title. So, the JB 235, Fortner needs to get through the season first. Agree. Again, we'll talk more about that on Thursday with the Fortner Degan video. Fortner Racing West is wild to me. That is wild to us also. If you watched our 250 preview show, which you can go back, it's on YouTube here. It's episode 287. If you go back and watch that, we all called Fortner to race East because we just thought he needed more time to get back from the brain surgery, to get used to the bike, back to riding, build his base back up. So the fact that he's riding West, we've been talking in the group chat, we kind of think there might be some sort of issue with somebody else, which is why he's racing, but we'll see. Eric says, I think Fortner and Levi get wins, but Deegs wins the title still. I think Levi will win a race. I think for sure. Fortner, I have questions about, and again, we'll dive deeper into that Thursday. But yeah, I definitely do think Levi beats him. I don't think Deegs goes undefeated in 250 Supercross. That's for sure. Mason, East looking so weak, especially with RJ still maybe racing West. I'm super interested to see if RJ shows up on Saturday. I know he's trying to. He wants to because he wants to run that #1 plate. But man, I hope he doesn't rush back and end up hurting himself here and really costing him some quality time on the bike. A little bit of a hot take, but I think Anstey's winning the East title. I hard disagree on that one. Anstey, I don't know that we see an Anstey that's better than what we've seen here in the past 2.5 years. We all got real high on Anstey when he was switching to Star over the summer there, and jumped on, and we all thought, or everybody talked about, he's gonna win. He's gonna win whatever it is there. Got Southwick. And yeah, he wasn't even close, and he didn't do anything much in outdoors there that like is jumping really up to memory. And yeah, so I don't know that we see an Anstey that is much better than what we've seen. Can he win a race? Sure. Can he be on the podium? Sure. Can he, make things spicy here and there? Sure. Is he a title guy? I don't think so. So, all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in again live at lunch here. Number 6. We got about 10 minutes left before I got to hop off here. Because again, this is the middle of my work day. I literally just had lunch. Second half of my lunch, I'm with you guys. I got works to do here. So let's see here. Eric, where do you think Cody Schock will end up at A1? Great question. Not sure. probably well inside the top 10 is going to be my safe bet there. We'll have to just see. Last year he did pretty well. I feel like last year was a bit of an outlier for him. He's a good rider, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with Shock. JB 235. Does RJ even get a 450 ride now? I don't think him winning that title does anything for him. That's a great question. Now, this goes into some of the videos we've been putting up here, talking about KTM and Husky and Gas and stuff. The problem for RJ is that he was basically locked in to be a lifer at Husky. And now with Husky going away, I don't know what this means. I do believe he's going to do select 450 rounds this year, which I think is not only outside of wanting to run the number one, I think that's another big thing for him is he wants to ride West so he can do East rounds, right? And he's going to go 450 outdoors. But I don't know what that means for him as far as 450 ride for next year. I think a lot's going to depend on what actually happens with KTM. Is there a Gas or Husky team? If there is, I think they find a spot for him because of what he's done for that team. But if there's not, then he's kind of in this weird spot again of he won a title. I don't really see him repeating this year unless he does ride East and can beat Tom. I don't know. It's one of those weird spots of like he could end up screwed here for just for being wrong place, wrong time, essentially. Robert Rad, I think Deeks can go undefeated if he gets a whole shot every race and doesn't crash. Pretty much can go undefeated other than that. You're right. Some of those other guys may get some of the wins. Yeah, again, I think he does really, really well and he wins a lot of these, but undefeated I don't think is the thing. He's gonna probably have a bad start at some point, or he's gonna have a crash or tip over something that's gonna end up costing him. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You think he gets a podium? Are we talking RJ, Eric? Are we talking? Do I think Cody Schock gets a podium? No, I don't. Especially if he's riding West here, I just don't think it would be an outlier in my opinion if he does. Now, could he win a heat race? Sure. Will he be top 5? Sure. But when you start running down the list of you've got Faulkner and Smith and Deegan and Shimoda and Kitchen and I don't know who else we think is going to ride for Kawasaki, but right there are 5 dudes that he's got to get inside, and like I can see all of those 5 dudes trading off on podiums there, and there's a couple that I don't think are going to miss the podium a lot. So yeah, so I don't know. Moisture Man, I think nowadays there are just too many variables for really anyone to go undefeated in SX, especially for all the rounds in the 450 class. Yeah, and the big variable is Jett Lawrence, so that's a big problem for everybody except for Jett Lawrence. And as far as the variables, if you talk to these Supercross guys, and if you haven't, go listen to Justin Hill's Gypsy Tales podcast. He talks about how the tracks now, while still gnarly, are not what they used to be. They used to be much peakier, much bigger. Now everything's a lot more rounded. Everything's a lot, I guess we'll call it softer per se, as far as Supercross goes. And everything is much more uniform, right? You don't show up somewhere and have these jumps that are wildly different than what you had the week before. Everything's very, very uniform, which is fine. Like, it's a pro race series. Like, this is the way it should be. But it's not that much different everywhere. So I do think there's the opportunity to go undefeated. And I think it's actually more of a thing now than it was in, say, the 90s, early 2000s, when you did have all these different tracks and all this different dirt, and things were built differently, and whoops were built differently. Like, even, like, we now get 9 whoops at every track, and they're all built the same. They're either all built loader or all built dozer. They don't build them different anymore. Everything is a 353. The finish line is this much. The triple is this much. Like, there aren't differences anymore. It's the same stuff, and you plop it in. It's kind of like having a video game, essentially. So I do think it's much, much more of a thing now of somebody could go undefeated because they just could be that good. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Wow, we are crushing it here. We are over 70. I think a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago I saw 78 in here. So thank you everybody for tuning in here. Ben Piggin, Degan had some biggies in Supercross and got away with it. Could it come around and bite him this year? Has he pushed his luck too many times? I don't think so. I think he'll actually settle a little more, if that makes sense. Just with age here. I mean, he's still young, dumb, and full of you know what. But I think with age here, it's gonna continue to settle him down a little bit. So I think he'll be okay. Could he have a big one? Yeah, real possibly he could. But does it end up happening? I don't know. I mean, yesterday's history and tomorrow's a mystery. So we'll just have to wait and see. Throttle Therapy. Who you got winning East title? Great question. I don't know. I guess right now it's Vial, but we'll have to wait and see. I think if RJ goes East, I think RJ stands a really good chance of challenging Tom in that title there. So I got about 5 minutes left here, folks, before we're going to jump off here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Absolutely crazy that we have this many people in here. And now the chat's going wild. Mason, going to be potentially 8 race winners on the West. Stacked. There won't be that many on the West. Not unless Deegan gets hurt, man. I just don't see it. And I don't... Who do you have as those 8? Kitchen could win. Deeks could win. I guess Faulkner, Smith, Shimoda maybe, but that's... I don't know. And that's only 5. Eric, are you going to make it to A1? I refuse to set foot in California until political views change out there. So, no, I'm not going to A1. On top of that, if you go back and watch our 450... our 450 preview show and the halftime report there, I kind of break down our financial situation with the show as to what we take in versus what it costs to go to a race. I just booked hotels for Indy and Detroit last night at the cost of almost $900 per hotel for 2 nights there at those places. So yeah, so there's not, no, we're not. There's one other race that me, Justin, and Cole are talking about possibly going to for a boys weekend, but that's basically it for right now, unless things majorly change, which you can help by joining our members area, supporting our sponsors, and just liking, subscribing, and making sure the videos just get views, because all that helps us absolutely get some more income to go to more races. But it'll still probably be several years before I go back to California. I love Anaheim Stadium. I love the Anaheim area. I'm a big Disney guy for anybody who doesn't know who's on here. So I love going there, spending a few days, doing the Disney thing, going to the race, and coming home. But I just hate California so much right now with its political side of things that I'm out. And if you want to talk politics, join the members area, B-Class Bench Racers, Thirsty Thursdays, members only live show talking about all that kind of good stuff. Starts this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in. All right, let's run down a couple more of these comments here. And then I got to jump off here, guys, because I got to go back to work. D-Tom 3, is Deegan racing 450 at Daytona? Not a chance, because he's going to be probably in this title. If he's healthy at that point, he's probably in this title thing. Unless he's got just an absolutely gigantic lead because no one else can get their shit together, then maybe. But otherwise, no. Did you see Hudson on Hayden's 250F? I did not. I try to watch as much of their stuff as I can, but I have been slacking the last couple weeks. It's been crazy with the holidays and everything, so I haven't. Oh man, chat's going crazy. That's how he rides. He rides very good under pressure. Robert Rad said that, yes. And he's dangerous. Max Anstey East. Yep, he is riding East, but meh. He was hurt last year in Supercross. Degan will kill it this year. All 3 championships. GB 325. Again, probably right. That's kind of what I've been saying. Blue Dream 420. Do you own the shop you do the podcast in? I've always wondered. Yeah, technically this is my parents' house. The barn is basically where the shop I'm in is basically all mine at this point. So yeah. So yeah, I mean it's my parents'. However you want to word that, I guess. So technically, yeah, the rent's really good here. I mean, we don't pay a lot, so so yeah. Okay, last few. I mean, 8 guys who have won races. Mason. Oh, okay, cool. So there's 8 guys in the East or in the West that have won races. Got it. Cool. All right, awesome. Sorry for the confusion there. Read that weird. Steve Rowe, Degan wins easily, no competition, laugh now, he will win all 3 titles easily. Well, Steve, that's kind of what I've been saying most of the day here. So anyway, Moisture Magnet at Steve Rowe, if he stays healthy, you're 100% correct. Yep. Nathan Russo, I agree with the California view, but I'm still going. Trust me, man, I would love to still go, but as long right now, for these years, I'm voting with my wallet right now. At some point, we will get back there, I'm sure, but it's just not right now. Hanky, personally, I would say Jett, but with this support, it all depends on it, or with this sport, I assume. And Panic Rev was referring to Forkner when he was talking about having a lot of trust in someone who didn't complete Supercross. Oh. Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in here. Again, sorry I got to jump off so quick. We have these all week, like I said. Today through Thursday, we will have the lives. There will be a video Friday talking about press day. At some point Friday. I don't think I'm going to do a live stream. I'm just going to record a video talking about anything I've seen in press, heard in interviews, whatever this week. And we'll talk about that. And then Saturday, again, we're going to be here all day for race day. So we'll have a race day live stream that we are going to be watching race day live and talking. I think Cole's coming. At least he said he was going to try to. We'll see. Haven't confirmed yet. We'll have the race reaction Saturday night. Film the main show Sunday, which again, if you're any level of member, you can watch us live film the main show on Sunday, and then Tuesday the A1 wrap-up show will come out, baby. So make sure to check all that stuff out. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, go join the members area. Our first ever Thirsty Thursday members only live stream happens this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be back tomorrow with another live stream. I don't know what's on the docket for tomorrow. I can't remember. I think we're talking about Ken Roxon's legacy and will he ruin it if he rides too long. So make sure to tune in as I discuss that tomorrow with a live at lunch. And thank you again to everyone who was in here. See y'all tomorrow.